And now a special episode of Donny Boast, Monday Football Flash, with your host, Donny Boast.
Ladies and gentlemen, wake up, good morning, good night, good evening. It is Monday. I don't know what day it is other than the day. It could be December. It could be October. In the NFL, it doesn't matter. If it's May, all the teams suck. And that's where we left off tonight, or the morning, or whatever part of the world you are right now listening to this. If you actually survived the 6-6 tie that was, quote-unquote, Sunday Night Football, then congratulations, whoever you are. I mean, it was by far the most bizarre game we've seen in a while, but it doesn't surprise anyone here at Donny Boast headquarters, including me, yes, your host with the most. I don't know what else to say. This was one of the most stupidest games I've seen, and it was just fitting that it would come down to kickers missing field goals from 10 yards. It didn't matter. It was ridiculous across the board. Both teams were awful. Both teams were pitiful. Both teams were disgusting. Both teams were trying to do things they really didn't need to do but ended up doing anyway because they just wanted to win the game, and in the end no one won anything. In the end it was just absolute ridiculousness. You might as well have puppeteers out there just pulling strings and watching things flail and just awful football across the board. That was the Sunday that was, the Monday that will be Houston at Denver. It doesn't matter. I'm sure it's going to be just as bad. The league is already talking. The Twitter is abuzz. All sorts of trouble. The league is in trouble. Teams are terrible. The Santa Clara Yorks are now, according to ESPN, ranked the worst franchise in pro sports. I mean, that's what we've come to, everybody. There's nothing else to say. There was a couple of highlights on the night, but we won't even have the time to really get into it. The couple of things we can say here, though, is that the Miami Dolphins ran the ball today, and because of that, they actually beat the Bills. The Bills decided not to stop the run, and the Miami Dolphins won, so we were wrong about that. We were right about the Detroit Lions beating the Washington Redskins, because if the Washington Redskins can win on the road in a dome, then the NFL is truly doomed. The Indianapolis Colts actually beat the Tennessee Titans. They didn't have to, but they did. Andrew Luck made it happen. That's how good he is. He can do that. The New Orleans Saints pushed in Kansas City. We had a feeling about that game. We had a feeling that the Saints had enough oomph in them, and the Kansas City Chiefs didn't. Baltimore, how do you choke in New York when Ryan Tannehill has to relieve Geno Smith after all this hubbubaloo all week, and then all of a sudden, just more chaos ensues? I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. Minnesota and Philadelphia, this was a game poised for the ages. What happened? Everybody fumbled. It was a disgusting game. The game was it looked like vomit all over the field. It looked like somebody shotted all over the place. It was terrible. And in the end, Philadelphia won. Congratulations. Ugh. Tampa Bay did in fact beat the Yorks, and they beat them in very aggressive fashion. So congratulations, Tampa Bay. You beat the worst team in pro sports. The New England Patriots walked all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It wasn't even close at any moment. The New England Patriots were in control of this game from the opening snap, from the opening kick, from the opening anthem. They were in control of all of it. The game of the week. The San Diego Superchargers upsetting the Atlanta Falcons. I thought the Chargers were going to walk in there and blow it, but hey, you got to give it to them. They hung in there. They just gave it their all, and even when Antonio Gates dropped a game-winning touchdown to close out the fourth quarter, the Chargers found a way to win because Atlanta decided to go for it on fourth down at their own 2, And after it was all said and done, it was ridiculous. They should have punted the ball. Stupid. The Oakland Raiders won in Jacksonville. That's not saying much. That covers most of the games. If we've missed any, they weren't even that important. And even if they were, my God, who cares? I think we got all of them. Except for, of course, there's no reason. We needed a whole segment for this. And that is the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. There were people actually covering this game today. There were people actually watching this game. There were people highly involved and really hoping that their lives would turn around because this game existed. That is the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. This game, at one point, the Browns actually were leading. And then all of a sudden, the highlight of the week on some level was A.J. Green catching this lucky Hail Mary between 4,000 people. And those people all happened to be Cleveland Browns fans and Cleveland Browns players. It's hard to tell the difference these days. It doesn't matter. They were all there together. They were all doing what they do, and it didn't matter. A.J. Green picked it up with his pinky toe and then bounced it on his nose, and then it bounced up and down, and then he got it again, and A.J. Green caught it, and it was a touchdown, and because of it, Cincinnati is now the greatest team in that dismal, dismal state. Hey, thank God for baseball, and thank God for basketball, I guess, if you live around those parts of the world. Anyway, there's not much else to say, folks, except that that's it. That's it. The NFL is donezo, and if you actually watch Houston-Denver tomorrow, then you have an addiction, and you need to go to a meeting, and you need to get a sponsor, and you need to talk to some people. This is very terrible to hear anybody actually tune in to watch Houston at Denver. The over-under in this game should be 3 points, especially considering just what happened in Arizona. It's just absolutely obscene. Denver's favored by 9. We're going to pick them to win because why wouldn't they? Houston doesn't know how to do anything. No one in the league knows how to do anything. Who's Houston's quarterback? Who is it? I don't know. Maybe it's Craig Eason. I don't even know if Craig Eason's an actual name. It could be. It could not be. It doesn't matter. It could be Ken O'Brien. We're big Ken O'Brien fans over here. If you haven't figured that out yet, we love Ken O'Brien. And when it comes to, Houston Texans football, we only remember one name at quarterback, and that is nobody. Because no one's ever played quarterback for the Houston Texans. They haven't been around that long. Except for Carr Jr. What was his name? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. He's dead. Good night.